What's happening, people? Welcome back to the show, the second show today. This is the Upper Tier Podcast, of course. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, drop a like on the video, and share the content. This is Survivor Series 2023 review, and what a show it was. What a way to round out the year in terms of premium live events and stuff like that. It was absolutely sensational. Had a feeling it would deliver this way in a big way and stuff like that. Um, just expected it to be a huge event, especially with the way they had gone up till about June. They were really, really solid, maybe even July. And then it just started from SummerSlam, kind of started to tiptoe down just a notch or so, just a notch. But certainly they sprang back. This was absolutely monstrous from start to finish. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, of course. I will drop a link in the chat for anyone who wants to come on and chat about it and stuff like that. We'll generally talk about the card and stuff like that, but I really want to talk as well about the press conference afterwards as well, and what the wrestlers had to say and stuff like that was very, very intriguing. The show was unbelievable. Punk coming out and stuff like that. Let me know what you felt about that. Even when the music hit, I couldn't allow myself to enjoy the music until I actually physically seen him come out. What a return as well from Randy Orton. Unbelievable. The guy looks jacked to the gills, big as a house he was. Great to see him back and happy and in the ring again, enjoying his wrestling, stuff like that. And of course, the return that everyone forgot about, of course, R-Truth back as well. What a little segment that was as well. We gotta love R-Truth, don't we? But let us know your thoughts, what you thought about it. Stephen's in there. How are you, Stephen? Called it. We did call it. We did say potentially it could happen, but I have to say, I don't know if you guys were the same as me, but last night when Cult of Personality hit, the reaction was absolutely massive in the stadium. And I have to say, I thought they were going to pull a Paul Heyman or a Grayson Waller on me or something like that. But when I seen Punk coming out, it was absolutely electric. You know, what's the crack? How are you, my friend? Be dropping a link shortly for you there, and all my friend ready to hop on. Got my coffee and all set, ready to go. Didn't see M Punk stayed on AEW scrum that he was tired of working with kids. Now he wants to help kids, younger talent, ever since he returned to WWE. No, he hasn't really said that he wants to help kids and stuff like that. I mean, you wouldn't be doing a lot of that at the moment. All those guys are at a serious level at the moment. If you look at the star power on that show last night, none of them really need anything really. They're all electric. All of them are doing absolutely fabulous. He did state he wanted to do that in AEW, not ever since he returned to WWE. Um, it will be interesting to see what his role will be ever since he's come back to the company. Yeah, it will be interesting, all right. But he's apparently the talk is he has signed a 3-year contract. I don't know what sort of a revised schedule it's on. I'd imagine we're probably not going to see him every week. But he is apparently scheduled to be at Raw in Nashville on Monday night. And who knows, we might get pipe bomb too. Let's see what happens, because I'm sure he has plenty to say. After saying and stating that he will never return, never say never in the wrestling business, Bruno Sammartino, Ultimate Warrior, Bret Hart, never say never. We should know better, shouldn't we? So you miss pro wrestling, AEW, then returns to WWE Entertainment. Frustrating, meltdown, anger, leave and go to another company. Realise that you ain't happy, fella. Are you not happy to have him back in on WWE? Hates working with kids. Dude's messed up. Didn't say he hated working with kids. He said he hated working with the younger talent over in AEW. And I'm not surprised with the heat and the crap and all that he was receiving. Was talking to Sean Bradshaw. Oh, very good. Yeah, I heard you. And big shout out, of course. It's Paul's anniversary today. So we'll be thinking about Paul, of course, doing the show and stuff. I'm back. How's your weekend, Noel? All good. Not great results today, unfortunately. Good result for Aston Villa against Spurs, of course, but United beating Everton in the way they did. Everton just absolutely rubbish. Big up, Eric. How are you? Good to see you in there, my friend. And Morris is in. R.I.P. Tony Khan. R.I.P. AEW. Yeah, it's going to be it's tough, and it's interesting to see the core AEW fan base as well coming out and going. Well, wait till you see the problem you have now. Like, we've had this guy, we know this guy and stuff like that, So it was an interesting dynamic. They were coming out, and it just sounded like they were just a little bit butthurt at what happened and stuff like that. I don't think they expected them to come back. Yeah, all good. Dad's recovering and all. It was a late one last night. We had the football all day yesterday. Then we Katie Taylor last night, absolutely sensational win for Katie Taylor. Everything that should be representing Ireland, absolute warrior in her and stuff like that. And then we went on to Survivor Series, so it was a long, long day, and I was up early. Shout out to the Women's War Games match of the night, and Rollins deserves an Oscar. Absolutely unbelievable, wasn't it? That Women's War Games match was just incredible. And not only that, we have to shout out Io Sky with that spot with the bin off the top was unbelievable. Charlotte with the moonsault off the top of the cage. Unbelievable moments in it. Bailey, the amount of punishment Bailey took and gave out was absolutely sensational. Shotzi now just looks like an absolute buzz rocket at the moment, stuff like that. But all the girls were absolutely sensational in what they did. An absolutely spectacle. And it's interesting when we get to talk about Cody in the press conference and all, and he got quite emotional talking about War Games and what it meant to him and his dad. And obviously Charlotte would have been in there as well. Her dad as well, and all the history around it and stuff like that. So there's a lot of pressure on these boys and girls going out there with the legacy that they carry on the back. Not to mention even Randy with his dad and stuff like that and all. So much legacy in there. Excuse the pun, of course, with Cody and Randy and all. But they do carry a lot. There is a huge expectation on them, stuff like that. And boy, oh boy, do they deliver. Eric's in. Hello, Niall. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. More bad news for Goldust's brother. Pushed further down the card. Is he? Is he? I'm not too sure whether he is or not, but we shall see. O'Shane is in. Hey, Noel, how are you, O'Shane? Saying how happy you were earlier. And I tell you, do you know what was interesting? A lot of us here on the channel and stuff like that, when we're talking about things and we think, we use the term whopper. When something's really good, we use the term, God, that was whopper, Kind of feels like an Irishy kind of thing. But Triple H used it in the press conference today. He was talking about something. He said that was whopper. And I was there going, is he hanging around with Sheamus or the boys, Balor and JD or something like that? But it was just weird to hear him say it, but it was kind of weird in a cool way, Don't believe everything you read, yeah, absolutely don't believe everything that you read. And Daz is in. All right, Morris. How are you? Good to see you, man. Welcome to come here. Porrig is in. How are you, Porrig? When Seth Rollins was so angry with CM Punk, gave the middle finger. It was so stupid. Did you see Seth Rollins gave the middle finger? I did see a Porrig, and I seen the giveaway, of course, and myself and Morris spoke about it, and Daz and all about it. It's Michael Cole holding him back. And then Rhea was giving the middle finger as well, and there was all this kind of stuff going on. But it builds because what it does is it keeps us thinking, even though we kind of know within the business, but it keeps us thinking. We want things to feel a little bit real, don't we? We don't want them constantly to feel contrived and stuff like that, even though in the backs of our minds we know it. But it was still kind of cool as well. And listen, hats off to Rollins. Morris said it earlier, the intensity on that guy when it all went down. And I have to say, lads, the wave from CM Punk was just classic CM Punk stuff. I have to say, folks, as well, when he came out as well, looked real healthy. You know what I mean? Just came out, white t-shirt, jeans, and white Adidas runners, real relaxed. It looked like he put on a little bit of weight as well and a little bit of size and stuff like that. As you do when you're going to the big Fed. These are just the things that happen. Talk about Randy Orton. Randy Orton coming out like Alistair over him. That guy is like a monster now. It was mad to see it. But yeah, CM Punk came out, looked fresh-faced, looked happy. And it was interesting, Triple H as well, talking about how, they hadn't been working on this for a long time and stuff like that, that this came together all in a very quick kind of situation. So it sounded like all the talk up till now about Randy being announced to dampen down the thoughts of CM Punk coming in and all, sounded like there was an air of truth to it. And apparently last week or something, or middle of this week or something like that, CM Punk had an hour-long conversation with Triple H, and boom, it was done. And there you go. And that's how these things get done. And it was really, really cool. But yeah, we seen Seth. Seth's just, I'm a huge fan of Seth Rollins. I think Seth Rollins really brings a cool realness to stuff, and I really, really like that, Yeah. He might be available to hop on the pod on Wednesday wrestling. Yeah, absolutely. Whoever wants to come on, more than welcome. Yes, well done. Villa 4, Villa now, and we knew everything were a pushover. Yeah, was expecting them to stand up a bit more, though. LFC ladies won 4-0 against Brighton. That's a big win. Big up Henry. Lego Maniac is in the house. Up Niall, he's back. He is back, isn't he? Unbelievable. Couldn't believe it, but it was sensational to see him back. Big up Daz for Henry. And I'm delighted. Love Punk, so I'm delighted he's back. I'm delighted he's back as well. And not just because of the shop and merchandise and all that kind of stuff, but if you check out a podcast, I'll dig it out and I'll put it up. It's an old episode when we spoke about Punk originally going to AEW. Myself, Jason Kennedy, Ian was on, and Joe the Beef, when we used to do the 4 Podmen. And we did say at the time that was not the place for him to go. AEW was not going to end well for him, and it wasn't going to be the place for him to go when he went there. And I said that it wouldn't come to a great ending. And I said the only place for him to go was to go to WWE, complete that circle of his career, Hall of Fame, WrestleMania, book, DVD, all that kind of good stuff that goes with it, that ambassador's role and all that kind of stuff and all, and go back there and finish it out and stuff. You know what I mean? You don't want to look back on your career. You look at Bruno Sammartino, was set away for so long, the Ultimate Warrior stayed away for so long, Bret Hart stayed away for so long, you know, and then you eventually mend those fences. But I think for Punk, I think it's a good time for him to go back now. He's going to slot in there. I think the roster is absolutely stacked. If you look at the women's and you look at the men's roster, there's just stars upon stars upon stars. And one of the questions I was asked today, which is a really, really good question, what happens now to LA Knight and guys like that? You know what I mean? And it's really cool. It's a conundrum. Look at WWE. They've got so many top tier people now. Between the women's roster, look at those women's roster, every one of them now top tier, you know what I mean? So just really exciting times at the moment. It's mixed feelings to have Punk back. It's like on one hand, it's really good to see him back in WWE, but it's also a case of how long before the next meltdown. I think that was probably a conversation that would have been had, Eric. I think we probably have to accept the fact that apparently he has signed a 3-year contract, which means that probably showed a lot of huge intent on both sides. But I'm not too sure. I think if he has another meltdown and he goes, then where does he go? I mean, there's nowhere left for him to go. He ain't going to go to New Japan because of the links with AEW. He can't go to AEW. NWA are not interested, probably couldn't afford him. Impact probably couldn't afford him. He ain't going to go there. If he leaves WWE and it doesn't work this time, well, then it will confirm all our suspicions that the issue is not all these other people and all these other situations. The issue is with him. He has an opportunity to go in there now on a blank slate and create some really impressive stuff and wind down his career the right way. And if he can't see that and he can't accept that and understand that and loses it for some reason, well, then what do we say? You know, what can we do? Would love to see Roman Reigns versus CM Punk in the field before WrestleMania 40. Heyman and Punk and Roman. Yeah, absolutely. Do you know what it could be? Do you know what would be really cool about that? You know, he's a Paul Heyman guy. So it would be very cool if it was Heyman that turned on Roman, cost Roman the belt, and Punk won the belt. But I don't see them going that route. I think Rollins is the route it's going to go. Hence the reason, what did you make of Drew McIntyre? Walking back, going backstage, getting chained, getting out of the building, headed off. Not a happy bunny at all. Didn't sound like it was worked. A lot of people said he was really annoyed backstage and stuff like that. Is there a concern now that with this Rollins stuff and all, he's going to be pushed to the side now? And are we going to look at Punk and Rollins going forward in terms of this heavyweight belt? Let us know your thoughts on that. Interesting stuff, of course. Orton doesn't age. He looks great. Yeah, he looked amazing. Really big though, Morris. That's the only thing. Really, really big. Because I'd say with Orton, I'd say he's naturally a kind of a lanky, slender guy, but he's always in great shape and stuff like that. And he just looked mammoth the other day, didn't he? Monster last night. Morris, how old is Orton? Did I read he's 42 or something like that? 41 or 42, I would say. It was too big a financial opportunity for WWE to give up. Plus, with the event being in Chicago, it was a no-brainer. Yeah, it absolutely popped the clogs off it. Did you see? I'd say the numbers are going to be absolutely sensational. Yeah, spot on, Morris, 43. That's what I was thinking, early 40s and stuff like that. But yeah, I'd say the numbers, Morris, are going to be off the scale. Check out this. Check out this number alone, folks. CM Punk's return to WWE tonight at Survivor Series has pulled an estimated 26.6 million views in 3 hours, folks, across official WWE social platforms and clips uploaded. 26.6 million in 3 hours. This is for people who a number of months ago were saying this guy doesn't move the needle and all this kind of thing. And listen, I was as hesitant as everyone else in terms of him coming back in and stuff like that. But my God, can he put the numbers together? And it's a mad one, isn't it? Because when you think about it, you look at him and he just seems at times just like a generic guy. But boy, does he put the numbers up. Unbelievable. Yeah, Punk's my favorite wrestler, so if WWE Dublin gets announced, I might just have to treat myself to them VIP tickets in hopes he's there. I don't think he's going to be doing the house show circuit. I reckon what he's going to be doing is he's going to be doing a couple of Raws in the build up to premium live events, and maybe 1 or 2 Raws after. That's what I reckon he's going to do. I think that will be the schedule, and I think what they'll do is they'll starve us of the want, like what they're kind of doing with Roman, but they kind of pushed it a bit too far. Whatever he needs doing and stuff like that to kind of piss us off a little bit in terms of not having the strap there. But I don't see CM Punk being in Dublin. I'd be very surprised if that's the schedule. Next up, TNA. No chance. They haven't got the dough from. They ain't got the dough. Him going in there, he bankrupt them. Which show will he be on? He has to be on Raw, I'd imagine. I'd imagine they're going to go with the Rollins storyline. It's the natural way to go. So naturally, he's going to be on Raw. I don't see the benefit at the moment of him showing up on SmackDown unless they want to absolutely catapult the numbers. But then what are you going to do? What way is the storyline going to go and stuff like that? And I think the one thing with CM Punk as well, if you want to keep him sweet as well, you have to be very clear about what you want to do with him and stuff like that. You can't he doesn't want to be messed around and stuff like that. And they have to be so careful with that. And they have to be conscious as well of, you're in the latter stages of his career and stuff like that. It's not CM Punk 2013, How are AEW going to try pick themselves up after this hammer blow? They're basically going to turn around and I'd imagine sell it on the basis, Morris, that they got the bad egg out of there now and they're happy enough that the bad egg has gone in there, and they'll sit back and wait for the implosion to happen. Maybe Eric might be right in his comments there about the meltdown, and it might happen, it might not happen. We will wait and see. Has the company moved on the way people think? Is Nick Khan and Triple H running the company the way everyone on the outside thinks they're running it? And if that's the case, I think they'll be okay with CM Punk. If a lot of that is just facade, then we'll know pretty quickly. Sean's in. Big up, Sean. How are you? Just joined Niall, home from my noble profession as your friendly neighbourhood seasonal sales assistant. Hope you're keeping well. Sean, hope you're keeping well as well. Did you get to enjoy it last night? Did you see it? There was fan footage after it went off air, and Drew was arguing with his team before leaving. So it wasn't because of Punk, it was because he lost. Interesting. I think it was only ever going to go one way, wasn't it? I wasn't expecting. Was anyone expecting Judgment Day to win? I don't think I wasn't expecting Judgment Day to win. Not on Orton's return. That would have been a stretch. For me. Let's get into some more comments. Imagine keeping a guy like Jungle Boy on your roster over Punk. Don't believe the Drew stuff either. The chosen one, eh? Yeah, the chosen one, yeah. Maybe the not so chosen one. I don't know whether, Morris, they made a decision between Jungle Boy and CM Punk. I don't think that was the decision. I think the decision was the hassle that Punk was creating and stuff like that. I don't think. I think the fight. I think we mentioned it at the time. I think the blow up between him and Jungle Boy was just the catalyst to the decision. I don't think it was ever going to be either or, because anyone who would make a decision like that would be absolutely crazy. I was expecting to see that crying Punk fan. He might be there, yeah. Orton is 43, yeah. Unbelievable. What a career he's had. I'm not a fan of the new t-shirt, hoping for a better one soon or a remake of the white one. We will have best in the world shirts in within 2 weeks, just to let people know. We will have the original shirt back in. We're hoping to get caps and all sorts of stuff. So keep an eye on the Instagram page, folks. If you're looking for the original CM Punk stuff, we will definitely have it. Looking forward to hearing Pipe Bomb on Raw tomorrow. Yeah, Aces. Can you imagine if they give him the mic and imagine they turn around to him and say, and I don't know whether WWE wants to do that or not, because I think WWE, as much as they go along and stuff like that, they don't kind of want to recognize AEW as being in the circle or anything like that. But maybe part of the deal of Punk coming in was that he was going to be allowed to air his grievances. The only thing I would say about that as well is he might be under an NDA in terms of his settlement with AEW. So who knows? That might be the case. Interesting. All set, bro. Yeah, I'll drop a link now in a second. I could go Berlin or France for the pay-per-view. More likely to get an opportunity to see Orton or Punk. Not too sure. The thing is, they'll probably be on both, won't they? I'd imagine they'd probably be on both. I promise I would buy my brother any wrestling shirt for Christmas if he came back, so unfortunately I have to get the cash out. Listen, it's not a bad bet to lose, in fairness, is it? CM Punk has a Brock Lesnar contract. He can show up on any brand. Yeah, but in terms of booking him, you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to have him dual jobbing and stuff like that and all in terms of working and all that kind of thing. So if it's Seth Rollins and it's the world heavyweight belt, then he's going to be on Raw. It doesn't make any sense for him to rock up onto SmackDown, does it? Why would he be rocking up onto SmackDown to do except just show up? And I don't think that would work. Raw looks pretty stacked in that you have a world title in a high competitive environment and one of the greatest IC champions of all time, while SmackDown men's champions are all missing in action. That's a good point, Eric. If they don't want to go down the road of Rollins, then maybe SmackDown is the brand to put them on and stuff like that. And you could see some really cool stuff on SmackDown as well. No doubt about that as well. So it'll be interesting. Maybe with the lack of that stuff, as you said, Eric, that's a great point. Maybe that lack of stuff on SmackDown that's there, maybe he's the guy to inject in there to just give it that massive lift. But the numbers they're doing are just incredible. I did see it, unfortunately. I was winding down during the copyright logo and woke up like I got struck by lightning when I heard that static sound. Yeah, absolutely. Shane, I was in work yesterday in Jump Zone yesterday, pure hoping for Punk's return. I think everyone was. I will definitely keep an eye. Are you getting the ringer shirt, the white and the black? We are, yeah. We'll be getting the ringer shirt in. There's a bunch of them going to be coming in, but definitely the ringer shirt is in there, the best in the world one. So just keep an eye out on the Instagram page. I'll get one off you, so sorted. Yeah, absolutely. It could WWE pay-per-view in Ireland. It could happen. It could happen. I know that Sheamus and Becky and Balor and all these people are pushing for a pay-per-view in Ireland. So it could happen. There's no doubt about it. It's just the biggest problem here at the moment is venue-wise, because you're not going to do it in the Three Arena. So you're going to have to look at somewhere like either the Aviva, the RDS, or Crow Park, and then you're at the mercy of weather and stuff like that. So there's only certain months in which you can roll that dice and take that risk. But yeah, it would be sensational. It'd be absolutely brilliant to have a pay-per-view here. I was thinking because of the Wales, we got Edge. Yeah, absolutely. Stephen's in. Yo, how are you, Stephen? Punk, absolutely. Punk. What a banger of a pay-per-view. What a pay-per-view. Has Punk faced Lesnar? He did. He faced him once, didn't he? He did. I think he faced Lesnar once. I'm not too sure. I'm nearly sure he did. Punk on Raw, then Orton on SmackDown. Not bad. Or maybe they're going to stack SmackDown like Eric might alluded to and put Punk and Orton on it. Imagine that. That'd be pretty cool. One on each brand, possibly. Yes, SummerSlam 2013. There you go. Yeah, I knew he had. Yeah, I was right, Acers. Yeah, he faced him once. Yeah. Faced him. It wasn't a bad match either. Wasn't a bad match. Could it be a pay-per-view in Ireland and Kerry? A pay-per-view in Kerry? Where would you put a pay-per-view on in Kerry? Let me know, Porrick. Beautiful part of the country, though, if that's where you're from. Love being down around Killarney and all down around the Ring of Kerry. You know, what a fabulous part of the country. I seriously thought that he wasn't coming. Stephen, I was the same. When I heard that music hit, I was waiting for Grayson Waller to come out in a fucking best in the world shirt. 100%. That's what I was thinking. They can have a pay-per-view on Offaly. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Uh, Dead WrestleMania rewatch. That immediately, it's on YouTube. I believe Punk versus Lesnar was top tier. It was. Absolutely. There you go. Dead WM rewatch on YouTube. That's where you'll find it. Yeah, it was top tier. Absolutely. And top tier at a time, if you remember around that time, that's around that time that Punk was quite switched off as well. So you know, it was really good, but it could have been way better if you think about it. Couldn't care less about Randy, only care about Punk, to be honest. No, Randy's legendary, isn't he? The Healy Rays will get it over the line in Killarney. Yeah, absolutely. Well, if anyone can, the Healy Rays can. That was an error. Sorry, Punk versus Lesnar is on YouTube, I think. Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Absolute banger. 100%. Right. I'll drop the link if anyone wants to come on and have a chat about how they felt about and stuff like that. We go through quick rundown through some of the matches and stuff like that and all. That is the link there, folks. If anyone wants to come on, I'll see you in the background. I'll bring you on. Just copy that link out. You know, all the usual stuff. What did we make of this? I love R-Truth. This guy just doesn't age. Sure, he doesn't. He's just unbelievable. And I just thought that Ruffle segment, I thought it was a cool segment, you know, and then, you know, R-Truth coming out of nowhere. Great to see him back and stuff like that. I mean, that guy's a lifer, isn't he? He's an absolute lifer, and he's, you know, followed him in TNA and everywhere else he was and stuff like that. Absolutely brilliant. Right, so our first one is in, but keep on letting us know your thoughts in the chat. This serious man is coming on. What's up, my brother?
How are you doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Just bring your volume down slightly there if you want. It's
yeah, will do.
Just bring your volume down a tad, not too much.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for Tensai to return, and then I'll be delighted.
Tensai.
Yeah, Tensai. Remember Tensai? R-Truth is great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, R-Truth is great. Let's talk about.
Oh, shit.
No, don't talk about that. I want to talk about the matches. I thought right from opening segment all the way through, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I really enjoyed Santos's match as well. I thought it was really, really cool. That stuff that Dragon Lee can do was just incredible stuff.
Yeah.
Really, really good. What did you make of the pay-per-view, What did you like or dislike about it?
More focused on the main event, the War Games.
Yeah.
I've seen bits and pieces, but was more intrigued with the War Games, the men's War Games. You know, it was hoping for a few things to happen. Like, I think one of them a sneaky cash in, and I don't know, either he runs off, just leaves his team high and dry. You know, leaves with the belt, which never happens. Never happened. And was hoping Orton to turn heel, but anyway, it was a good main event there. I'd say we enjoyed it. The ending was good there. The Punk comes out, all the controversy, the flipping off and all that. You know, that's leading up to something. You know.
Yeah. And that's kind of what we want, isn't it? That's what we want to see happen. But I think if you look at all the matches there, for me, let us know in the chat what you thought as well. I thought the women's War Game match was the best match on the card by far. I thought Rhea and Zoe Stark was absolutely electric. We kind of know Rhea isn't dropping the belt before Elimination Chamber goes to Perth. She's going to be going to Elimination Chamber as the champion. There's no doubt about that. And probably will leave as the champion as well. So although we know that Zoe wouldn't be getting the belt, boy, did she put in a shift last night and really, really solidified her spot as well in that higher echelon. I thought Miz and Gunther was absolutely brilliant. The way they put it together. Miz is just unbelievable. Steven's in. He reminds me of Ultimo Dragon. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Yeah, he has a similar type mask as well, and his mannerisms are very similar as well. Eric is in. Eric is saying Miz in a babyface role works surprisingly well. Miz is just royalty, lads. He's just unbelievable. Babyface, heel, gatekeeper, anything you want. That guy is just absolute money and brilliant at working
Yes, sir. No,
with
sir.
talent. Yeah, no, he's just so
Loyal.
good, and he's such
Loyal.
a yeah. Well,
Loyal. He's very, very
oh,
loyal.
loyal. Sorry, I thought you said
Loyal.
loyal. Sorry, I thought you said loyal. Yeah, he is very loyal, absolutely loyal. And the thing about him as well is he's a real company man as well. So it doesn't matter what he's asked to do, he'll go out there and he'll turn anything into gold. He's really, really good. I'm a big, big fan of the Miz and stuff
Right.
like that. You know?
He made the Intercontinental belt relevant again. He did.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see, well, before Gunther. So there you go.
Well, the build up to the match was good as well, insofar as
Oh, yeah.
he made it very clear that he regarded the IC belt as the most prestigious belt in the company, you know, which is pretty cool, and it's a nice way to put it and all and stuff like that. So that was tipping the hat of Gunther as well, which I thought was really, really cool. But yeah, Miz is just unbelievable. Acers is in. Looking forward to hearing CM Punk team hit PA system after Roman Reigns acknowledged me for their feud at Elimination Chamber. Interesting. Punk Roman WrestleMania 40 main event. Is that what we want? We want Punk Roman. Is Punk going to be the guy to end Roman's reign? Is that what we're thinking? Roman Reigns is losing to Cody at WrestleMania 40. That's what that would be my thinking, unless he's going to double job night 1 and night 2. But I don't see with everything that's been going on for the last year and all the stuff that's been getting put out on social media. I don't know why all roads from CM Punk would lead to Roman Reigns. I know Roman has had stuff to say and stuff like that, no, but surely it has to be Seth Rollins.
There's so much on the social media platform about this guy, that guy, that team, this team. You know, don't believe everything you see on the media platform. You know, I mean, if it happens, it happens.
I'd imagine Punk's first match is gonna probably be at the Royal Rumble. That's what I would imagine. I think he'll do the Royal Rumble. I think he'll definitely be involved in Perth. I think he'll definitely be involved in all the big premium live events and stuff like that, because that's really where they earn their money and their bonuses and stuff like that. So definitely be involved in. Seth Rollins at the Rumble is being selected by Triple H. That would be absolutely cool. I have no problem with that. And the thing about it is, if it's the Royal Rumble, I'm going to the Royal Rumble, of course. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I'll be super excited about that. But it'd be cool as well, because you could get that 8-week build up to it as well. So you can have a nice long build up to it as well. Lots of back and forward, lots of stuff coming out promo wise and all, and then have a really good match, which would be cool. I jumped up at 4:30 a.m. out of my couch when the music hit. The neighbours must have thought someone was getting murdered. Darren was the same. Darren sent me a picture today. He was out of the bed, absolutely diving around. I'm just glad it wasn't Grayson Waller or someone who came out, you know. Do you think we will get a Punk and a Set tag team? I'm not too sure. I wonder if further down the road, post WrestleMania, maybe, if the bloodline stuff all dies down and Roman goes off to do whatever he wants to do after dropping the belt or whatever it is, if that's the plan. I wonder, would Punk be on SmackDown then as an opportunity to create a Paul Heyman faction with CM Punk and a couple of others and stuff like that? That might be pretty cool. Let's see how that goes, because it really is. I think with sucking the bloodline off SmackDown, and if the bloodline kind of goes away, you'll have Solo there, you'll have Jimmy. I honestly think all roads lead to Jimmy and Jay getting back together and stuff like that. I'm not overly convinced about them as singles. I think the sum of the parts is much better as a tag team. So I think ultimately they'll end up back together. Dylan's going CM Punk versus LA Knight. Tell you, the promos and the build-up would be electric. That'd be pretty cool. Interesting to see how that
can't really see that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's open. He's open to anything and everything, but I mean, it just depends on what show he kind of ends up on. I don't see him as being a flounder on shows. I really don't see it. The other thing they could do that sometimes do as well is maybe when the belts have kind of settled down and they've decided, if Punk is getting the world heavyweight belt and whoever's getting Roman's belt, Cody or whatever it is, maybe they do a little switch. Maybe they put the world heavyweight belt on SmackDown for a while and they take the WWE Undisputed Championship and they put that on Raw for a while, because they've done that before as well, where they switch the belts around and stuff. So not a bad thing. Oh, are them inside the rope shows, Niall? I think I saw a pic of you with Biscuit, if I'm not mistaken, with Bischoff. With Eric Bischoff, I was at Eric Bischoff, Bischoff, I was at the Eric Bischoff show, absolutely. Morris was there as well. The two of us were there at it as well, and Graham was there as well. It was a kind of a weird show as well, because I was hoping that they were going to avoid the Monday Night Wars, and it just became an evening kind of on the Monday Night Wars. So it was it felt like a long evening because it was kind of regurgitating a lot of what we knew, but still good to meet.
Where it was heading,
Yeah. Punk versus Finn would be nice. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. There's so much there that could happen. Deadly, I would love to go to the room.
There's a lot of talent there he could face, A lot of fresh faces. So it would be interesting, though,
Yeah, it's definitely a very different landscape than when he was there. So it'll be interesting. AJ Lee next return. I don't know if that's the case. I was looking at some of her stuff there the other day on socials and stuff like that. No, I think she's quite happy now to be retired and sitting in the background and stuff like that and all, And if you look at the level again, similar to Punk coming in, you have to be careful with it. AJ Lee coming back in. We've had Trish in, we've had Lita back in, stuff like that. But if you look at the girls in there at the moment that are on top of their game, and you take just even the 8 or 9 girls that are involved, 10 girls that were involved in this show, all those girls are very, very high level now. Very, very high level. And that's not to say that AJ Lee wasn't, but I think when AJ Lee was in there, it was a very different time in the women's division. But now it's absolutely, you look at Charlotte and Becky and Asuka and all these girls are in there and the way they're operating, Shotzi, Io, Bailey, they're all top of the game at the moment. The one thing that came out of last night that I looked at, especially when the women's match had ended and the girls were all up on the cage and stuff like that and all, I was kind of wondering, how did Mercedes Moné feel at that time? Sasha Banks, aka Sasha Banks. I wonder how she felt about it. She would have been a big part of that as well, and it's unfortunately it's gone by. Can't wait for all the Punk figures. Yeah, they're gonna absolutely merchandise this guy out, aren't they? Every single thing. I fully expect half my shop to be seeing Punk here within a month and a half. They have to make an Ultimate Edition, 100%. That's coming, absolutely. And I hope they do. I hope they do the original one, obviously with the best in the world shirt. But I hope they do one of those. It'd be cool to do a pack like remember the Straight Edge Society, stuff like that.
Oh,
that would have been pretty cool. Never thought I'd say it, but Punk versus Austin is slightly possible now. I wouldn't say they're touching that. With Austin having a match at Mania recently, I wouldn't rule it out. I don't know. I was at that, O'Shane. That match was very geared towards Stone Cold Steve Austin. Kevin Owens did a phenomenal job. But I don't see that being the case. I couldn't see it. That Garnacho goal was outrageous. It was outrageous. Probably a goal of the season, to be honest. Hit it sweet, he did. The main thing about the wrestling, never say never, absolutely.
I suppose, yeah.
But that's why we all enjoy it so much. Absolutely, Eric. Absolutely. If you ever get a Punk autograph, you could sell that for any price. You could, absolutely. Punk autographs are, although they're out there. I mean, he's done the Comic-Cons and all that kind of stuff. So they are definitely out there. I have a couple of the original Punk Funko Pops there behind me and stuff. That I also have an AJ Lee one as well. They're pretty pricey from what I heard. They're pretty pricey when I bought them. This picture last night was unbelievable. This set the world alight. I did a short on the channel on this morning, and it took off about 400 views or something like that. I never thought I'd ever see this picture when you think of the history of these boys. So that I would love at some stage, if the two boys sat down and did an interview, like a shoot style interview with someone in the middle. Normally you would say JR or something like that, but maybe it'd probably be choreographed. Michael Cole would be perfect. And if they spoke about the conversation that they had, how did they both come to an understanding? when originally so much poles apart and stuff like that. How did they get this done? I know his mindset at the moment is what's best for business and how we get things done and all that, and hats off to him as well. But I never thought I'd ever see that picture when you think about what went down. What an incredible picture. This is a picture I think people in 10, 20 years in terms of wrestling will be talking about. Remember when Punk returned, him and Triple H? Incredible, 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 incredible. Eric, do you think it's possible the Revival will return to WWE since they are good friends with Punk? I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. I'm a huge FTR fan.
Never say
and
never.
Absolutely, and I hope they do. And not only do I hope they do, I hope there's good stuff there for them in terms of that tag division and stuff like that. You can see how much they're building up the faction stuff. You can see how much they're building up the women's division again, all this kind of stuff. If they could just build up some sort of tag team stuff now, really good stuff, I think that'd be really cool. But hey, there's so many options there at the moment, and I think there's a lot of people sitting at home tonight in the wrestling business thinking and exploring their options. No doubt about it. But hey, if you look at WWE, there ain't that much space. WWE is stacked out at the moment.
Yeah.
We'll see him Punk face someone. Absolutely. The thinking at the moment, Porrig, is it has to be probably Seth Rollins. But when it happens, we're kind of thinking Rumble. It could go all the way to Mania. Who knows? Let's see what way it pans out. We'll definitely know more tomorrow night. We'll be watching with bated breath tomorrow night to see what way this goes and when he comes out. And can you imagine the viewership on Raw tomorrow night, CM Punk coming out to cut a promo and talk about being back? He just looked so happy. The crowd were off the scale.
Rallying for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
On the edge of my seat already.
That's it. I'd say Endeavour owners are paying that this decision doesn't back. They're praying that this decision doesn't come back to bite them on the ass. Absolutely. And look,
please,
as Morris said earlier, this is something that they had to do. They couldn't not do it. They really had to do it. The opportunity, everything just kind of aligned. Punk out of AEW, Survivor Series in Chicago. That was the perfect springboard to bring him back in and then generate that bit of heat between himself and Rollins and the rest of the roster and stuff like that. No, I think that's cool. I think that's really cool. And I think that's what we want. That's the kind of stuff that we want. Punk versus Austin Theory as a main event of SmackDown, maybe. Don't see Punk going anywhere near Austin Theory, to be honest. Couldn't see it at all. But here, never say never. Did you pick up the Ultimate Edition, Andre? I didn't, Stephen. I have a couple of Andre figures already, and I just have a number of figures just coming at me left, right, and center at the moment. So, I was focusing on them. I did order that on Epic Toys, is it, or Wrestling Trader? I ordered the double packs, the Demolition and the Powers of Pain, because I'm hoping to meet them if they do a mini WrestleCon at the Rumble or something like that. I'm hoping to meet both those teams again and get them signed. So that's what I was focusing on. I would have changed Punk's team song back to Kill Switch. Yeah, I was thinking about that today. I did a TikTok today promoting the show tonight, and I used Kill Switch Engage. I think Kill Switch Engage is unreal. It's classic, isn't it? It's classic, but Living Color is the one that kind of, but Kill Switch Engage would have been cool as well. Like, so I think it was always going to be.
What's it? Didn't Randy Orton have that team there one time on SmackDown? He only had it once.
Yeah, I think he only had it once.
Yeah, that was a good episode. That was
Oshina saying both songs are bangers. They absolutely are bangers. Did anyone back the new gen? Did anyone back the new gen arena on Mattel Creations? Yeah, I had a guy actually contacted me on the page the other day, Stephen. He has one for sale. And I think he was talking, I think it's something 280 quid or something like that. Now, it looks cool. But the Mattel Creations, most of them tend to get done Yeah, I think the last one didn't get done. It didn't. Raise enough. Eric's in. I've heard there is a dinosaur called Kill Switch now. Oh, imagine. Imagine. I wanted to talk about this, folks. I really, really enjoyed. I even stayed up for the presser last night or this morning, early hours this morning, stuff like that. That was really cool. Triple H came out. He was absolutely blown away by the response, and I'm not surprised. I'd say the numbers are going to be absolutely sensational. Cody came out, and I thought it was really cool the way he spoke about being in the ring with Randy again and the legacy of all that, and the way it brought him back to previous times and all that kind of thing. But he also spoke about, the conversation is always ongoing about the dad and completing the circle and all that kind of stuff, and the journey that he's on and stuff like that. And he spoke about what it meant, and he mentioned Charlotte with Ric Flair as well, and himself with Dusty and all, and it's war games and how important it is and all that kind of stuff. And you kind of don't want to tarnish the legacy when you go out there and stuff like that. Not that they would and stuff like that. But he got quite emotional talking about it. It was really cool. He kind of he ripped the piddle out of Triple H a little bit at the start as well with the notes and the metrics and all that kind of stuff, which was kind of cool as well. But I really did enjoy. I don't know, Ian, if you got to see the press conferences or not. Let me know if you did.
I was skipping around on the YouTube, just binging along. I just didn't really have much time to see. In due time, I mean, I have a lot going on at the moment, So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Stephen. I gave Stephen the heads up the other day on these figures. That Muhammad Ali double set is absolutely cool, Stephen, isn't it? As Muhammad Ali as the boxer, but it also has him as the referee and stuff like that. Really cool. The Hogan Funk one is sweet. I tell you, Stephen, you wouldn't go wrong either. That Rick Real Jake one is sensational as well. So,
very ball, well, Hulk Hogan.
That's it. Yeah. Oh no, it's Hulk Hogan. Definitely Hulk Hogan.
Hulk.
I liked Gunther's interview as well, where he was talking about the importance of the IC title and the build up and all that kind of stuff. And he was talking about they asked him about moving up into the next tier and all this kind of stuff. Kind of got the feeling he took a little bit of offense to it, really, and stuff like that. But certainly he's ready to go. But he made the point that he's in no hurry at all to move on from the IC title to what he's building on there is
really, European title back,
They could do. I mean, if they're going to do more of these premium live events in Europe, why not bring the European title back? I'd love to see a European title maybe on JD McDonough and stuff like that and all. It'd be really cool and stuff. For those shows, that would be unbelievable. Yeah, Stephen, great purchases there, though. I hope you like them. They're unbelievable. And the presentation on the boxes is absolutely class as well. Imagine what Vince McMahon thought the decision to bring back Phil Brooks. He would be thinking dollar signs. He would be thinking dollar signs. Now, I don't know how he would feel about it, but he likes business, and we know he likes money. And the one thing that CM Punk brings is numbers, viewers, money, sales, merchandise, all that kind of stuff. There's no argument on
Eric Bischoff stated controversial
cash,
absolutely. Sorry, pronunciation. Sorry.
Yeah, no bother at all. We had Becky and Charlotte on as well. They both came out for their press conference as well, and it was really great to talk to them. Becky got quite emotional as well when they started talking about the history that both girls had, and they've put aside now their differences on this feud that they were having and stuff like that. I kind of thought they might go down the road of displaying the feud on screen, and they might turn on each other last night. I was interested to see could they coexist. I'm kind of glad they didn't turn on each other, because I thought the match was absolutely unbelievable. So it was fantastic. It was great to see both girls there basking in the glory of it. But it was nice the way both of them spoke about how important each other was to the development of their careers and stuff like that as well, which was really, really cool. So if you do get a chance, folks, and you haven't done it yet, check out the press conferences as well, because they actually tell you an awful lot about the climate in WWE at the moment and how respectful all these people are of each other and the level that they're operating at now. Cody spoke about it as well. The level that they're operating on is it's incredible, Hats off to them, the job that they're doing. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Ocean's in, man, Punk is going to make it an expensive Christmas. He is going to make it an expensive Christmas. Why not? Someone has to pay for his contract. I remember X-Pac as European champ. Yeah, absolutely. X-Pac, unreal. Stephanie McMahon was backstage last night. Yeah, I read the notes on that Acers actually that she was backstage, but she was kind of in a visiting capacity more so than anything else. But great to hear that she was backstage and stuff like that and could be there for it and stuff like that. It was a monumental night. I don't think it just hasn't set in for people yet, but it was a monumental night. This week we're going to see the reaction to it. It was unbelievable. That's what I couldn't believe. I couldn't believe they went with both comebacks on the same night. Look at Orton there and how he looked absolutely jacked to the gills. Look the business.
Yeah.
I've never even seen his legs as big. His legs were huge as well. So certainly came back and made a statement. And then to roll out both of them. If there was ever a situation where we know that the premium live events had slightly dipped in terms of the level that they were at from earlier in the year, this one was the one that swung it back around and knocked the baseball right out of the park for a home run. It was absolutely brilliant. Couldn't believe that they had rolled out both boys.
Oh, for some reason, Noel, okay, we had both returns, Randy Orton and CM Punk. Randy Orton, now, I believe it or not, I'd actually expected Randy Orton to come out to Punk's music, instead of, okay, the whole Punk thing, we said, like, okay, he wasn't going to return. I was actually expecting, okay, the music in Chicago and CM Punk, apart from all the other, people saying that, they're expecting certain individuals to come out, with a shorts, best in the world. But I actually expected Randy, but and anyway, the Bowden returns, which was interesting, and it made a good pay-per-view.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, you got to remember as well, it was in Chicago as well. The wrestling fan base in Chicago is fantastic. So intense, so educated.
Country.
You know what I mean? Punk country, all that kind of stuff. But not only that, it's really wrestling country as well.
When you think about through the years, the Road Warriors,
yeah,
anyone that was ever from Chicago,
yeah.
I mean, all the,
Yeah.
Anyway,
Acers makes a point as well. Jordan Devlin, JD McDonough, how he is fitting in absolutely seamless into that echelon in the Judgment Day. His selling, I think, is second to none. We spoke a few weeks ago about Ziggler exiting the building during those cuts and stuff like that. They're after unearthing a gem in Jordan Devlin, JD McDonough, in terms of his selling and his work rate, unbelievable. And you think of the positions they put him in recently, Seth Rollins and Crown Jewel, taking that RKO off the cage and stuff like that was unbelievable. But if you go back and you look at his selling throughout the match and stuff like that as well, and how the stuff that he was doing, just those extra little bits, that extra bit that he pushes in there, he was absolutely brilliant. So hats off to JD McDonough and long may it continue. I think he has a huge future in WWE, and I can't be happier for him. Such a great guy. Know him personally. He's so sound, Jordan Devlin and stuff like that. He's just a great human being as well.
I have to believe yourself there in OTT there, one of the events there. Pretty down to earth.
Yeah, absolutely. Ocean's in. You have Rhodes, Punk, Orton, LA Knight, Rey Mysterio, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. So many big names, and that's only a fraction of them. That's only a fraction you've named there. What's the next pay-per-view? I think the next pay-per-view, Acers, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's an NXT one. But I think the next big pay-per-view, I don't know if they're doing something around. I know there's the kind of Christmassy stuff and things like that. I'm not sure if they're doing a tribute to the troops. I haven't seen that. So for me, probably the next one is probably Royal Rumble. But I know Ace's deadline in 2 weeks' time. That deadline, Ace's, that's an NXT one, is it? From what I can gather. I'm not too sure. I just haven't looked in it. I was so caught up in this Survivor Series and it delivering and the comebacks and all that kind of stuff. I haven't looked any further. I really haven't.
That's the nostalgia feel we're getting, you know.
Yeah, big up McDonough. Absolutely big up JD McDonough. Yeah, unbelievable. Bailey and Damian Priest will now be kicked out of the groups now. Do you think? Oh, I think Bailey. I think Bailey is that central focal point that pulls that all together. I'm not sure whether that would be a good move or not. Henry's in. I gotta go, Noel. Time to hit the hay. Absolutely, Henry. Enjoy a bit of sleep after putting in a serious shift this week in putting together content and stuff like that. So absolutely enjoy it. Anything else, folks, we want to cover and stuff like that? I see Matt Riddle tweeted out something about
Everyone in the chat there, cheers.
what did Matt Riddle say? He turned around and he said something like, if you thought I was difficult to deal with, now you've brought in CM Punk or something like that. So that should be interesting.
Well, at least the CM Punk gets to play with another Cam.
Yeah. In a more structured way. AEW World's End pay-per-view December the 30th. Yeah. Interesting. Be interesting to see now. Keep an eye on the numbers for AEW over the next number of weeks. See what way it kind of manifests itself. Probably a slow burn, but yeah, I can see Damien cashing in. Yeah. Oh yeah. I saw the Matt Riddle tweet. You seen it, Eric? Did you? Yeah, it was kind of weird. You thought I was difficult to deal with. Mad. Bitter some, yeah. Bitter some, I'd say, Eric.
He let him go, didn't he? Riddle.
Absolutely. There is a special tribute to the Troops SmackDown 2 weeks now. Interesting. I'm gonna take a look at that. I do like some of those tribute to the Troops shows. They're pretty good and stuff like that. And I like WWE's part that they play in that. Interesting stuff. Stephen, AEW is dead. I think most people are coming out and saying that. And O'Shane Riddle is a madman. He is a madman, O'Shane. He's absolutely a madman. Crazy. Look at the mess it's been for the last year with him and stuff like that, man. Crazy stuff. Sorry, Brody King versus Eddie Kingston on Collision last night was a belter. I'm sure it was a belter. Be interesting to see how many were watching. Acers. Looking forward to the numbers coming out, and I'm not really a viewer's guy and stuff like that, but it'd be interesting to see the damage that was done and stuff like that. I'd say the amount of people that flipped over was huge. He's doing a no F and promoting weed. It's mad, isn't it? It's mad.
I think we're back to channel surfing.
Oh yeah, we're back to Matt Riddle. I'd rather watch paint dry or grass grow than watch that pile of shit called AEW. I think, Stephen, there's certain sections in it I think that are all right. There's some I can tolerate and enjoy.
Stephen, you watch AEW.
There's a lot in there that I don't like. I think Christian at the moment is really good in there. And I've always kind of been a fan of Christian, so I'll always watch his segments and stuff like that.
Someone not now with the part though, I tell you.
Yeah. Some of it is good, but the problem is because the structure and the story and the booking and the flow is all a little bit haphazard, and there's not a lot of quality in there to probably sense check it as well. The way in WWE, it's probably there's a lot of sense checking and a lot of experience in there to make sure they knock it out of the park. But there is some of it that I still enjoy. I already know AEW are going to take repeated shots at WWE now. WWE will absolutely lap that up. They love people.
It's like Toys R Us over there now. You know, now we have a Conlell toy. I think it might be a trophy. I'm not too sure. A bit like
O'Shane is saying, I forgot to have off in 2 weeks. I'm gonna cut a promo on Enzo's ass. Yeah, OTT. He has OTT in 2 weeks. Enzo is coming to OTT in 2 weeks. Bonkers is in. Brody winning was the first shock. Yeah, it was.
Hey, Bonkers.
Big up Bonkers. Yeah, Bonkers.
Wasn't he going to say Glasgow with that?
No. The Christian Cage promo made me laugh out loud when he was shaming Kill Switch and then calling Nick Wayne his son. My God, that the promos he's doing at the moment about the dead fathers and stuff like that and all is absolutely crazy. Daz is in, all right, Bonkers. Acers is in. AW Luchasaurus is now called Kill Switch. Can you imagine? Christian TNA was some serious business. It was some serious business. Mad. I always liked the dynamic between him and Tomko as well. I thought it was really cool. Yes, I'm okay, Daz. Stephen's in. Was there ever a Toys R Us in Ireland? I think there was one up in Belfast. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it's made a comeback as well, Stephen. I don't know. You seen that in the States, is it? They've started reopening Toys R Us branches and stuff like that as well. I used to love when WWE back in the kind of middle 2000s or something like that, they used to do Toys R Us exclusives, and it was these chase the belts, and it was really cool. And they'd be 1 in 80 or 1 in 100 or 1 in 500, and you'd actually get a proper metal and leather replica belt. And I was lucky one time I got 2 Mark Henrys, and they were really cool, and they came with the little belt bags and all that kind of stuff, and they were a 1 of 80, but really cool. Yeah, so hi guys, big up bonkers. Yeah, Jack is in. How are you, Jack? Good evening, Niall. And who is with you drinking beer? And whoever is with you drinking beer, that's Eno. Eno, one half, of course. Big up. You'll never walk alone. Absolutely. Any other comments, folks, on Survivor Series? Let us know. Anything else you want to chat about, or any kind of observations or stuff like that? How are we feeling about Punk being back? Apart from being sort of really, really happy, but also a little bit nervous about it and all, and how it's going to go, so long as it doesn't blow up and stuff like that.
Another Punk DVD, another 3-disc.
I'll tell you, Eric, the whole internet is coming for Ryback. Ryback said he'd retire if Punk returned, so they're going to be all coming for him now, big time. I don't know, that Ryback stuff the other day as well with Shrek was a little bit weird. It did weird me out a little bit, I have to say. Ocean's in. We did have a Toys R Us in Blanche at one point, if I'm not mistaken. Was there a Toys R Us in Blanche? Very good. I didn't realise there was one out there. I thought it was mainly the UK market and up north and US and Canada. I think it stayed in Canada, didn't it? When they filed for Chapter 11.
Tommy Toys. Do you remember that one?
Tommy Toys, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Still gone, would you believe it? After all those years.
Stephen Otis was hogging all the crisps. Were they crisps or were they chips? It was brilliant, wasn't it? So good. Could have been Dundrum one or another. I'm not too sure. I don't think there was a Toys R Us in Dundrum, as far as I know. Might have been.
Toys.
Don't think there was. Where's Ian Kelly? Thought he would have been on for the Punk return. He had mentioned coming on, and then the last thing I got a photograph, he had a tin of Quality Street and he was watching Home Alone. So I doubt he was going to come on.
Norman Santa.
Bonkers wants to know off you, Daz, Van Gerwen or Humphreys? Who are you going for? Daz goes 2-1 Luke Bonkers. My girlfriend kept saying KO was going to be the 5th member of the Babyfaces team. Glad Orton was announced and she wasn't right. Hey, look, KO wasn't a bad shout, in fairness. I wouldn't have been too upset with KO, but delighted to have Orton back. My closest Smiths is at loan. Yeah, I'm lucky enough. I have a few around me. I mean, there's Carrick Mines, there's Tala, Font Hill, Jervis in town. There's a good few of them and stuff like that. The only thing is they kind of sell out of the good wrestling stuff pretty quick, and they get left with a lot of the stuff that you tend not to want. But still, even so, not too bad.
Right, the old figures, like back in the day, love those.
AEW Punk figures still in stock in Toy Master and Jervis Street. Yeah, and if they are, and Will was in with me there last week. Will looks after the top floor in Toy Master. Good friend of mine, Will. We've been friends for years now and stuff like that. He was telling me they've just ordered a load of AEW exclusives that are expected in before Christmas and stuff like that. So keep an eye out. If you want to know what, give Will a shout in Toy Master on the top floor. He'll let you know what's coming in and stuff like that. Who do you think Adam Copeland goes after now? Oh, that's a big question. Well, I presume he's going to continue the chase for Christian, isn't he? Because, I mean, he didn't really get his hands on him.
Well, I had seen that Adam Copeland done the curb stomp on Luchasaurus, or sorry, Kill Switch. So I think that was a shot at you want Seth Rollins.
I think it was. I think
that was a shot. in a sense.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe it
You know,
was, but I don't
could
think.
be
I
wrong now.
don't know. Depends who's writing the stuff, but I don't think
Yeah.
Edge wouldn't be buying into that type of stuff. You know what I
Adam
mean? Edge
Copeland.
is the,
Adam
or Adam
Copeland.
Copeland, whatever you want to call him, but he wouldn't be. He wouldn't be buying into that type of thing. I don't think. Remember looking for Mox figure in Ireland, near impossible. Yeah, we had a couple of them in a while ago.
Yeah.
What do you think of Escobar's heel turn? Intense, very, very intense.
Uh, that
Border.
LWO should be heel. Needs to be a heel faction.
Well, it's kind of in it's in limbo at the moment, stuff like that. Because Santos Escobar has just he's just broke out himself and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see how it progresses.
Santi be now. Sorry, Santo. He'll be next to go.
Keith saying, "What's the crack, Noel? I don't know about you, but I felt that Randy Orton return was a bit ruined by announcing it and not keeping it as a surprise as the fifth guy."
Nothing to secret is this.
No, it is, but I think the issue was I think he'd been spotted a number of times down at the performance center and stuff like that and all. And I think what happened was you might be right. It might have worked better if they hadn't have announced him and he came out as that surprise guy. But then I think people would have lost their minds so much at that. I'm not sure when Punk came out then would you have been able to get them up again. So I think that's what they wanted to do. So, but I think we were hedging our bets on both coming back anyway, weren't we? But yeah, no, I think you could be right there. Maybe they shouldn't have announced them and stuff like that. But then we shall see. He did the concerto to Nick Wayne in front of his mum. Yeah, the concerto. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, come on. Shame on him.
I don't know how deep that wound goes when he starts talking about dead fathers and all that kind of stuff. He called Christian on Collision last night for a match at World's End for TNT Championship. Okay, so that's Edge we're talking about there. Yeah, no surprise. I have a Punk figure from AEW. Got it for my birthday. Nice one, nice. Anything Punk is brilliant. It's great to have.
Right.
Daz Copeland going for Christian TNT title on Dynamite in December. Forgot the date he said. There you go. So that's it. So it's gonna we knew it was gonna be Edge and Christian, didn't we? That's the way it was always gonna go.
Adam Copeland and Christian Cage.
Yeah, that's it. Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. How times have changed. Wonder sometimes did Edge maybe push that button too quick or something like that. Although I wonder how Edge would fit into the current WWE stuff at the moment with the takeover and stuff like that. They had been kind of made very clear to him that they didn't have a lot of planning there for him and stuff like that. And obviously he wanted that creative freedom going to AEW. Plus the financial security as well was obviously very important for him as well. WWE. Yeah. WWE spoiled us, giving us both back. Why not spoil us? We're fans. Why not spoil us? 4 weeks today will be St. Stephen's Day. Absolutely, Acers. Cannot wait. Any news on why Drew left quickly after the match? Was he pissed off? He did sound bonkers. He did sound like when you seen him going down. Apparently the notes coming out of backstage and all. I think it was Fightful or something, or Sean Ross Sapp or something. Is that his name? Had reported that he wasn't happy backstage at all. Basically went back, changed, got his gear and got out of town pretty quickly. So it'll be interesting to see what evolves of that. No doubt over the next couple of days we'll get a clearer picture about it.
You'll have to use the facts.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, no bother. You walk away, Paul. Yeah, man, I'm after a Punk and a Cena auto. No idea where to get it. We did have a Cena pick in store. It was framed and it was signed, but it sold pretty quick. So yeah, but Cena ones are not too bad. You'll pick up Cena ones handy enough. You'll pick up both handy enough. It just depends how much you want to pay for them. They are out there. No doubt. Yeah, pissed off bonkers. Yeah, he was. I'd say he was really pissed off. I'd say he's getting worn down a little bit by being brought to this well a number of times and stuff like that. And I think it sort of started with Clash at the Castle. And I think he was riding that wave. And I think he thought he might be at this stage back around gold again. but he hasn't been, and it's been probably quite draining for him. I would imagine. Ace was Drew McIntyre was annoyed by the way the match ended by losing the match. She must have known that beforehand. It wasn't called in there. So I'd be surprised. They were never. Look, if Orton's coming back and all, they were never going to. They were never going to go with that outcome. Sean Ross, Sap, and Fightful didn't think Punk was coming. No, they didn't, and this is what Triple H said. This was kept really, really tight. He said only a handful of people knew about this, and they weren't letting it out because if they let it out, it was going to leak. So it was really, really important to keep it tight. And I'm glad they did as well because they kept us thinking. And most people didn't think he was going to show up and stuff like that. And like I said already, even when the music hit last night, until I seen him walking out, I wasn't sure. Lego's in. It would be mad if Drew goes to AEW when his contract expires. Yeah, be kind of crazy to get out of there and go to AEW. It's just, I don't know. But then again, if you're really, really mad and really, really fed up, is it that crazy? Is it that much of a stretch? But I wouldn't be leaving WWE at the moment with the trajectory that it's on and stuff like that at the moment to go to AEW. I'd have concerns about AEW over the next year and a half, maybe. But let's see what happens. Might have to go off soon. Still slightly hungover from yesterday. Absolutely, Eric. Listen, a pleasure having you on, man. You're always there, so I really appreciate you coming on. I always enjoy your company in the chat. Acers, Punk only signed contracts during the show last night. I don't think that's true, Acers. I'm not too sure whether that's true or not. I'm sure because a lot of those contracts that go out, they go through legals and all that kind of stuff. And also, I'm not too sure. He did say, Triple H did say it was tight in terms of getting it done. I don't think it was tight to the point where he was backstage signing contracts before he went out. I wouldn't think that's the case at all, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, O'Shane, yeah, I'll try and keep an eye out for one. Yeah, absolutely. Right, folks, that's it. Another good show, another good review. Thanks for joining us as always. Awesome. Second show today. Make sure you check out as well if you're a football fan. We did a match reaction to Man City and Liverpool's yesterday's game. I will be back tomorrow night with Mark, our resident referee, for the Monday mashup around 9 o'clock. We will be doing a full review.
Yeah, I'll be on the chat for that as always.
Yeah, we'll be on a full review of the Premier League action. Wednesday, I'll be back with Pro Wrestling Weekly. I just need to put the show together, see what we're going to talk about. No doubt, CM Punk is going to be there. And various
more CM Punk.
Absolutely. And then Thursday, I'll be back with Thursday Tier Talk with Darren, where we will be previewing the Premier League action for the weekend coming up next weekend. And we'll also be discussing the fallout from the European games, as always. Last couple of comments. O'Shane, Drew signed a new one. I believe he still have years on his contract. He would have to request a release. I don't know whether he signed yet or not, O'Shane. Has he? I know they were working on the contract and stuff like that, but I'm not sure whether he's re-signed. Also seen Riddle doing a meet and greet at the Wrestling Universe. Yeah, they get in loads of people. That shop looks absolutely class. I'd love to go and visit it next time I'm in New York with a bit of luck. And Bonkers is in. Should Drew beat Gunther then if really world champ contender? I don't know. They're going to have to figure out what the level is and where people are going to slot in now, because what happens is they've taken that kind of, dare I say, that middle section of the roster and they've bolstered it up into the top tier. So there's kind of a little emptiness, if you want. If you look at Shinsuke and stuff like that, there's a bit of an emptiness there. Shinsuke, Ricochet, and these type of guys. And then some of these guys have just jumped up into this tier now. And it's absolutely stacked. And let's be honest, on that top tier, there's only 2 belts. So hard to know which way it's going to go. Thanks, Noel. Great stream as usual. O'Shane, absolute gent. Always appreciate you coming on and stuff like that. Cheers. Can we do another Mount Rushmore soon, Noel? Best Rumble matches and winners with it coming up. We will, absolutely. What we'll do is we'll plan that show for, say, middle of January in the build-up to the Rumble and stuff like that, and we'll do that. And what we'll do is we'll do them going forward for the big shows and stuff like that and see what we think. They're always a fun show, and it's always great to get feedback and get other people's thoughts on matches and shows that they loved and all that kind of thing. So really, really enjoy that. Until next time, folks, if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, drop a
That's it.
like on the video, share the
Spread the
content,
love.
check out the audio shows, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Cheers. Cheers, Eno.
Cheers, man. Cheers.